button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. Let's get this going. Good afternoon, good night, good morning. Welcome to the BitLab Academy daily live stream. My name is Kellam. Welcome to the show. Welcome back from the weekend. I've got a double talk going on in my ears, so let's go ahead and mute that. All right. So how did everybody do this weekend? How are you feeling? Did you make any investments? Did you sit on your hands? Did you sell? Did you just give up on crypto? What do you think is going to happen with the crypto markets going through the summer? I did a poll. Make sure you get involved with that poll. Let me know what your thoughts are, what you're doing. It's always interesting to see, especially with our community, because I feel like our community is already getting a better read on the market than the general sort of sentiment read from the mass public. So get involved with that poll. You'll see it in the chat. And I'm also going to share, make sure you retweet. Yeah, just sort of that. I'm pinning this up to the top. Where's the pin button? All right. So how you doing? How you feeling? Have you hit that like button? Have you hit that subscribe button? Have you ding that bell? Again, welcome to the morning, Monday through Friday, BitLab Academy show. We got a busy week. I'm going to be all over the place this week. Meaning I'm going to be here. I'm here in New York right now. Green screen behind me, if you can't tell. I could show you actually, just to give you a little bit of a bam. We got, I just take a photo of the lab. So I'm always in the lab regardless, because we're always here hustling. But I'm heading to Miami on Wednesday afternoon, shortly after the show, the live show. I'll be going to Miami. I'm going to make every attempt to also do the stream Thursday and Friday as well. I may miss one or the other, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I'll be at Bitcoin Miami with the Hit Network crew, BitBoy, and I mean, Frankie Candles, TJ, a lot of people, a lot of our crew's going. Not everybody, but a lot of our crew. So if you are going to be there, throw in chat right now. Let me know. I'm going to put the chat here where I can see it. Let me move this pop out chat. Where's pop out chat? Why can't I pop out chat? Go like this. How about that? Let me know if you're going to be in Miami for Bitcoin Miami. I'd love to organize a meetup. I kind of floated the idea with Tom Crown, maybe do it, and I got to check with Frankie as well. This is not scheduled yet, but one of the things I'd like to do is set up a sort of, what did I call it? It was something silly. It was something like the soon to be lower middle class YouTube streamers meetup. Being like, you know, us medium and smaller and medium sized channels, Tom Crown, me, Frankie Candles, and if Lifer's going to be there, I'm gonna try and reach out to a bunch of people. It'd be cool to set up just sort of a master powwow with all of us, you know, because a lot of you watch a lot of those channels. If you do watch any of the other channels, which I highly recommend you do, whether it's on the Hit Network streams or, you know, part of our team or other streamers, I really want to emphasize and encourage you to build your sort of database of knowledge of who you are watching, listening to different viewpoints. And so I just really want to, but so let me know in chat, who are, let's say, the top 2 other streams that you watch on nearly a day, you know, regularly, whether it's a daily basis or multiple times a week. Not only so I can see that, but, you know, the other streamers, the other people watching here in the chat, let them know who they should be checking out. You know, I love Traders Reality as well, NBX Crypto, Nicholas Merton, Data Dash. There's a lot of people out there that you can learn a lot from. This is not the only source, and it should not be the only source. While I appreciate you being here, I just want to make sure everybody's getting a broad view of the market. Lifer does seem like a good dude, and special shout out to Crypto Lifer. It's really sad to see when his dad suddenly passed last week or the week before. It makes us all kind of check in on life and realize, I talk about this a lot on this channel, it's not just about making dollars. It's not just about making those huge percentage gains. It's not just about wanting to be a crypto millionaire. Let's ask what our why is. Our why, at least my why, is to have capital to live more free, to take care of my friends and family, and to you know, make sure that I can go after the things that I really care about, and also have money to help other people. That's my why. What is your why? And you know, I was really sad with Lifer. I was honored that he shared that with his friends and followers and you know, his community, because it's we got to remember to check in on life. Is as important as crypto is right now with where we're at in the market. It never beats how important what's going on in the rest of your life. So we got to keep that life balance. So. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this. We're going to just dive right into it today. I slept so much this weekend. I'm almost tired from my sleep. You can see in my face. I had a glass of coffee. I might need to have 2 or 3 more, but I'm feeling good. Markets, you know, regardless of the sort of constriction of the markets right now, we're kind of sitting in we feel like we're in like purgatory. Are we going to drop down or are we going to push higher? Well, let's talk about that. But before we do talk about that, let's kind of come over here. Let's pull up my screen. Let's make sure, come over here and follow me at Kelly Kellam, which is at KELLYKELLAM. I always call these out because there's I think I have 25 to 30 different fake people. I mean, every time they remove one, there's 2 or 3 or 4 more fake ones, whether it's Kelham or Kelman or Kelly_Kellam. All those are fake. This is the only me. There's only one Kelly Kellam. Make sure you're following me here. And then, of course, where is it at? Make sure you come over to BitLab Academy. Follow us at Academy BitLab. It's a pinned tweet up in the top, or it should be at least. I don't know if did I get it pinned? Let me see if here we go. Okay, yeah, it's up there pinned. Should be up there pinned at least. But yeah, make sure you come and follow. And today, make sure you come and follow. Once you hit the follow button on BitLab Academy, hit that retweet button. hit that like button. I'm doing it right now myself. Let everybody know where they can come and find out what's going on in the markets and actually learn the process along the way. We don't just spoon feed TA. This is bridging that gap from beginner to pro. There's also a little bit with this is a double tweet here. You can retweet this one right here. But there's a double tweet. This is just letting people know the new BitLab is live. For this course of this week, you could still use Give Me 30 for 30% off the first month of BitLab Academy courses or indicators or both. So use this while you can. And yeah, come here and retweet. You get entered to win. We've given $100 away. We've given lifetime memberships away. We've given multi-month memberships away for both indicators and courses. So make sure you check that out. And again, I'll cover this at the end as well. The new BitLab Academy is live. If you have any questions, come to bitlabacademy.com. You can come up here to the FAQ, which is frequently asked questions. And of course, there's a contact us button on the bottom of that page. If your question is not answered, which I really want to recommend, because some people ask the same questions that are explicitly listed out the directions right here. If you can't figure out how to connect the Discord, come in here. How do I access Discord? It gives you a clue. Indicators, it tells you exactly. How do you access the indicators? We have it all broken down in here. So do that, and you can come here to contact us if you have any other questions. Now, of course, you can come over here to courses, view all. If you just want to see what's in here, we've got all the stuff from beginner stuff, the beginner stuff is free access. All access members have access to as well, but everybody has access to Bitcoin 101, Blockchain 101, Crypto Beginners course, self-custody. The Crypto Beginners course has some select lessons from each one of these other courses, and we're dropping the TA strategies in there this week, and I'm also recording a bunch more next week as well as some other stuff. This is going to be ongoingly updated. There's already 100 plus new lessons in here. These are all new. This is all new content in this BitLab. It's resources, all kind of stuff. So I really want to emphasize, and I just want to give you a little preview here. If, for instance, say you're in the candles course, come here to start course. You can see right here, there's free resources and terms reference guide right here. You can download. You can also come in here to continue. And once you start this, let's say you go into Three Black Crows. You can watch this course. And you'll see at the end of the beginners courses, there's an option to upgrade to all access at the end of each video. Once you're in the all access area, when you're watching these lessons, we really break stuff down here. Let me go ahead and mute this. You'll see that if you let this play through, once you get to a certain almost done, there's a quiz section that pops under each lesson other than the intros. That helps make sure that you're kind of pulling out the most important things from each lesson. And then there's a quiz at the end that just has all of a lot of important information that we want you to really take away from each lesson. And it tracks your progress, gives you a score, lets you know where you're at. We got a lot of stuff in here, and we're really proud of it. And there's a lot more stuff coming. If you're curious about what our mission is, who we are, what we're doing, come over here to the About. Very simple. Broke it down like a school page, not too flashy, just very simple, to the point. Let you know what's going on. And this is really most of the people involved on the side. There's a lot more people involved: graphics, marketing, editors, all kind of stuff. But this is a team that Ben and TJ founding it, and then of course I'm running BitLab. Frank's one of the instructors. AJ teaches some courses. Ray is our go-to guy, which you can message right here if you have any issues with the Discord. And then of course there's a lot more stuff coming, a lot more sections that are not even integrated in this that we're going to be building out: mining, Web3, all kind of stuff. Hold on. Alrighty. Now, let's jump in and see what we're talking about today. And come over here to the BitLab Academy, retweet this tweet right here. Hit that follow button, hit that retweet, hit that like button. Now, what are we talking about today? Bull market this summer. Can it happen? Will it happen? Do we just want it to happen? Is the market just not going to allow it to happen? Well, there's some signals we can look to and determine with, sort of stacking our probabilities to give us a data-driven bias versus an emotional-driven bias. And that's what we want to do. We want to stack things. We want to stack probabilities in our favor so we can take trades or make investment decisions in the direction that the probabilities are hinting at. Now, that doesn't mean we don't practice healthy risk management, meaning protecting our capital, using stops, and identifying when there's a balance between an aggressive decision in a market movement, meaning you want to jump in because you're trying to front run it a little bit, in which case you have to know that there's a higher probability that their trade can go against you if you are front running the confirmation. Now, if you are a little more conservative and you wait on those confirmations, you're not going to gain every percentage possible in that move, but you will gain a higher percentage of trades when you take them. So in the long run, you actually will end up likely making more money over time and being more profitable, even though you're not capturing 100% of every move. If you jump in trying to capture 100% of every move, you're going to lose a lot of those trades. And without good risk management in place, you very well could just be eating up your capital, and you also become a little bit disenfranchised, disengaged, because you lose confidence in your decisions. So let's try to find that balance for smart decision making in these trade decisions, but also being able to take advantage of the move to the most of their capacity, while also still being conservative enough that we can be sustainable in this market. Now, how is everybody feeling today? All right, like I asked, are you bullish? Are you bearish? we're gonna leave this running for a little while longer. The poll currently says rocket, baby, meaning up, higher by the end of the summer. Only 25%. Okay, 45% right now say probably flat for the next few months. 29% say going down more, buying lower. So this looks like it's a pretty even split. Just shy of 50% right now say they think it's going to be fairly flat for the next few months, meaning over the summer. And about the other half are saying, a little more than the other half are saying very moonish or very bullish. So it's interesting to see that. I'm going to leave that running for a little while longer. Now, let's look at some of the things we want to look at in terms of what's going on in the market. Well, first things first, let's actually pull up. Why do I have some? Oh, okay, I thought these were all charts here. You can't see my tabs. I thought these are all charts, and those are on-chain charts that I had set up. Let's go ahead and look at Bitcoin and see what is going on. Let's go ahead and start with the monthly. We pointed this out the other day on the other stream that we had this relative extrema right here. We had this relative extrema signal. See these pink bars? Now, just to reemphasize for anybody that is watching, let me go ahead and make sure that I can see everything I need to see here. We got 86 people in the room, only 42 likes. What are you doing? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. Let's get this engaged. Hit those emoji buttons down in the chat window if you could see them there. Throw up your party what do you call it? Party blower thing and the hearts, and let's make this a fun show today. I'm feeling quite mellow, but I am excited about everything going on in the market. So looking here, relative extrema, these pink bars are showing that there's sort of a underlying sort of lack of a pressure that's going with that direction. In this case, direction is up, right? This move was moving up, and this is in a bearish sort of pressures here, meaning there's not the sustaining pressures and the sustaining moves to show that this is sort of healthy in this direction. So this is flipped pink, these candles, and these candles being pink is a similar signal to these. Basically, this is tied to when these relative extrema bars are giving the signal when this is outside of the cloud. Similarly, when this is green, this is outside of the cloud to the downside, so showing this is likely going to start consolidating at some point. Now, this had a long way to go, but all we needed to do is start looking for our other signals. In this case, look at this. Green, we had no blue. This is all neutral here on the significant movement. All these are part of the BitLab trading stack, which you can use Give Me 30 right now for 30% off, or stack 30 in checkout at bitlabacademy.com. Where'd that go? Come over here to indicators, come down to BitLab indicators, add that to your cart, the full stack that is, and boom, right here, you get 30% off. Now looking here at the chart, we can see this was flashing green, but what do we want to do when we're looking for any setup? We're looking for agreement of data setting up for highly probable moves. So this is all green. We have no bullish divergences here on the hidden volume. Now, if we turn on market intelligence, let's show all. I have show only last divergence. Let's turn that off so we can see all the divergences. This is on the monthly. Is this not showing? Yeah, so there's no bullish divergences on market intelligence on the monthly, and we have no bullish divergences on the hidden volume, but we also have a neutral signal right here. But as this is falling, what we're looking for is at least another signal. And we get this when this flashes blue right about here. And it takes a second for this to fall into the, basically dip its toes in the ocean here to show that it's kind of found that ground level. And then we kind of consolidate here. This consolidation, a lot of people are looking at as a potential market cycle bottom until we had that final capitulation of the FTX washout right here. Now, if we break this down a little bit further, we can see this massive downtrend right here. Not only do we have the massive downtrend, we have broken out of this, tested it twice, and we're sitting right here in this region on this trend line right here, which is a lot more clear once we look at this a little bit tighter in like this. Now with this, what I want you to notice is two things. This is the 3-day chart on the Bitcoin BitGet chart. And if you will notice, Crimson Caravan Company, and I think it was Unforgettable Name, it might have been somebody else in our BitLab, the mods chat, they let me know. I did not realize that this right here was blocking the chart. You can see, so I moved it. We've got one over here on the right now, as you can see. Makes it a little better. But what I want you to notice here on the 3-day chart, and this is why it's so important for you to go through multiple charts, okay? I want you to look at multiple charts, and you'll even notice sometimes this, I'm looking this in BitGet. Sometimes I come over here and I look at this on another chart. For instance, we can look at this on the Bitstamp chart. And I'll have different sort of areas, different, like this, I have this parallel channel. We come back down here to the BitGet chart. This Bitstamp, I don't have any of the lines drawn there. BitGet chart, I only have this top line, and I have different levels marked. It's good to look things, you know, go through different charts on different time periods and different parts of the week also, when you're looking at things with a different lens, and chart things out on different time frames. And then you can flip back and forth between the different charts and get that healthy view. What I want you to notice on this chart, for instance, we're looking at the BitGet chart, is the mesopic vision, which is this right here. This is a modified and very upgraded version of like a, similar to a VPVR, volume range, visible range profile, looking at where these are the price levels, you know? So this level right here, go all the way across, you can see we have this pink line coming out. This is a point of control. So the point of control here is right about the $21,000 mark, 20,950. So we could see that all these is very similar to the VPVR, showing how much volume was traded at each one of these price levels. So this peak right here, we can see there's a high volume node here. It's also heat mapped out, so you can, without even really looking at this, you know this is a high volume node. This is also somewhat high volume, that you can also tell by how high these peaks are when there's high volume traded at this level and very low volume. You can see we've talked about this gap right here. This is that gap that we sort of teleported up through. Now, when we're trying to spot what's going on going into the summer, and we're doing technical analysis and we're looking at different time frames, yes, we can turn off everything, and we can look at the price action first. Okay, we can look at the price action, and we know chart vision should starting to be formed in your mind's eye. And when you're looking, we got 97 people in here, 61 likes. Hit that like button, hit that, join us here in our community. We can see that we have these lower highs, we have these lower lows, but we also see that these lower lows are very steep, right? Lower low, lower low, lower high, lower high. There's a very large gap here, and then a larger gap here, but then we start getting a smaller gap, low, smaller gap, low, low. So we're getting this rounding nature without even looking at support and resistance or trend lines. We can already notice that. Now, what you can also notice immediately, especially with the BitLab trading stack, is the fact that we have these colors on these candle bars. And now, why are these candle bars green on the way down? Well, we have tied this in with the relative extrema, which is part of the BitLab trading stack, which is this right here. We have a healthy aggregate momentum wave, which is this momentum wave right here, this shaded, you see this shaded? This is where when price action is moving in a healthy manner, and these bars representing the sort of velocity and movement of price on this specific bar of price action. Now, if we look right here, this specific bar is relative to this specific bar. Similar to this one, this bar. Now see 1, 2, 3, these bars. This is 1, 2, 3. And you'll notice when the relative extrema is flashing, meaning the price action is moving out of context with the healthy nature of of pressures in the market at that time, meaning this is moving down on traditional. If we turn this off, on traditional candles, in this case, if we show this, how this traditional sort of candle structure, this would look like this. Red candles is bearish, green candles is bullish. But what I prefer, what I like with the relative extrema is I have the bullish candles being white and the bearish candles being gray. However, when we have the relative extrema on, then we can flush out where the healthy movement is. Meaning when you see white, this is healthy movement. When you see gray, this is healthy movement, healthy bullish movement, healthy bearish movement. And what we really want to look for is when we zoom out, going back to that 3-day chart, we can see just at a glance, not even looking down at the relative extrema and the other indicators at the bottom, or even the volume profile, looking at the price action right here, I can tell that there's a lot of pressure to the downside that, of course, we have downward price action. But we can see that once we get into these green candles, there tends to be some sort of consolidation and at least a little bit of a relief. Now, this is in a downward context. This is price action move to the downside. Now we can see here, this is rolling over and we're seeing healthy movement to the upside with just some of these pink candles showing unhealthy. There's an unhealthy characterization of movement to the upside. And this is to be understood right here as we're starting the true reversal. But look at all this healthy movement to the upside. And then as soon as we're pulling back, we get these 2 green bars. And I really like the 2 green bars together. Sometimes we'll get one, for instance, right here, but we also get a very weak move, right? A little bit of consolidation, but this is also a doji candle. Now we get 1, 2, and then we get this rounding consolidation. And we have this attempt to the upside, unhealthy, it fails. As soon as we fall down, we get this not only rounding, but we also get the relative extrema with green candles here showing that there's very strong underlying bullish pressure. There's building bullish pressure, especially as we're getting 1, 2, 3. And we get this rollover to the upside. Roll over to the downside, we're getting this green candles. Roll over to the downside, all of this very strong bullish pressure underlying, and so strong that even on this upside, this is still green. And we get this strong slingshot to the upside. Rolling over, see, as soon as we push up into the zone, we have these red candles here, and this is rolling down, and this failed here, but we are coming down, and we're getting these green candles again and some bullish divergence. Now, looking here, what we could see is when we see this roll down and we get the bullish divergence on the hidden volume, meaning this green flag right here says R, this is regular bullish divergence on the hidden volume. Volume is one of the strongest indicators that you can have and trust in a market, most importantly, when it is in confluence with other signals. So we could see bullish divergence while we're seeing bullish pressure underlying, and this was overheated, but the momentum indicators have sort of reset back to neutral. So this is not discounting any of this bullishness is here because we're not getting any red, but we're also getting the relative extrema outside the bars, which is why these are green. We get the bullish divergence here, and we have this low print. Now, this is on the 3-day. We didn't even get the bullish divergence on the market intel. Here, we're starting to get that. It's not confirmed yet because these candles haven't closed, and we could see that. Well, you know what? Let me actually go like this. They're actually likely, this is show only last divergence. Turn this off. Okay, so we did have bullish divergence. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bullish divergences at this candle here. So at this candle right here, this is leading before we had the bullish divergence on the volume. This candle right here, I may have been stopped out here because of the nature of this. Coming in, it's still a higher low. My stop loss on this, if had I been trading this on the 3-day, would have been just below, it would have been fairly tight below this entry. But as this is going down and we have 6 bullish divergences, this would have given me another opportunity in this region to take a trade. Now, in order to do that, I would have come down to the daily candle, looked at for more resolution, and then brought that down to the 4-day candle, 4-day hours, so I could really lock in what the strength and pressures we're doing at that time. Now, when we're looking to what's going into the future, we are coming into the mid-month May. It's May 15th. Some people would say that we're already in summer, but they're front-running seasons at that point. Summer, I would say, I contextualize summer about when I was growing up, when I would get out of school, and I would get out of school for the season, for the semester around the end of May. So going into June, July, August, for me, that's what summer is. So when I'm looking at what's going to be playing out into June, July, August, that's also going to be Q3, right? So we can look quarterly as well as what's going on. But what we want to do right now, I want just to point out, we're here on the 3-day chart. We do have a bullish divergence setting up right here. We do have a low, higher low, higher low. I wouldn't even consider this any sort of high at all. This is, a lower high, lower low. And then we have higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high. Now this is a move. Where is this going to resolve? And is it going to break down and retest these levels below, or is it going to continue to the upside? Now, as it stands right now, this is looking, and we're not even looking at support and resistances right now. We're looking at volume. We had a bearish divergence right here that completely somewhat, nullified this bullish pressures here, because we also got this higher, we got this lower high, we had a spinning top candle. So as soon as this came up, we got the spinning top candle, and that followed bearish divergence, meaning volume did not agree with what's happening with this price action moving up. There's lack of interest at this level. Likely price action going to continue further down. And we have, this is neutral right here on the 3-day, but we can come down to the daily, and we're going to do that in a second. I just want to fully contextualize here. Now, looking at where we're at right now, let's go ahead and turn on the next indicator, starting with the volume profile. This is Mesopic Feather, but we can also come over here to Mesopic Submersus. This is going to be released here very shortly, part of an addition to the BitLab trading stack. Now, we see this box that populates. This is sort of like think of it like a liquidity order block sort of anomaly at the price action that's happening right here when price fell down here. This is signifying once we get up to this level, this is likely going to be an area of interest, a potential resistance. And once we break through it, when we come back down, likely a level of support. And we can see now, if we wanted to, I can sort of double click on this. I can project this out. Let's go 200. How far that out? This is arbitrary. I have it squeezed down just so it doesn't take over the whole chart. We can see that we came right up into the zone that was predicted. This would have been predicted as soon as this broke down from here. We came right up into the zone, sort of fulfilled this sort of lack of liquidity, volume gap, interest in this zone. And then we have this blue order block right below us. Is this signifying that we may be coming down to find this level? Now, whether or not we are bullish or we start seeing bullish signs for price action going into the summer, we can still plan for opportunities if they were to arise if price action falls. Now, listen to what I just said there. I am not scared if price action falls from here. My bullish wanting things to run high right now is a little bummed. But then the deeper understanding of these markets and understanding how opportunity unfolds and how you really make the most out of market cycles is when you do get these washouts, like right here at the start of bull markets. Now, this coming down, this to me is not something that, even if we did come down here and lose this level and actually even form new lows, it would just be frustrating that the market's more exciting in terms of engagement and adoption of new users if this were to just continue going, if this, got up to $50,000, by September. And I'm not saying that it's going to do that, but that brings a lot of eyes to the space and a lot of excitement. But if that doesn't happen, that actually means what? It means we have to be more patient, and being able to be patient and having a plan and being able to take advantage of price action if this does come down to this level on the top side or down all the way to this low side or even further, then in the long run, that actually would present to us a better case for more profits in the long run. So I am prepared either way, but I am leaning in the direction that there's about I would say 35 to 40% chance that we do come down and tap this liquidity, so order block gap that we have down in this region, which would be down to the $23,000 region. But for me, this would be incredibly bullish. I think it's more likely that we're going to find some sort of maybe another smaller quick washout and on a 3-day period or something like that, down to the bottom side of this EMA ribbon, down into this 25,000, 24.5 region here, and then bounce and continue the upside. As it stands right now, it looks like there is underlying bullishness that is supporting us at these levels and not allowing these bears to fall. The longer this takes place, the weaker the resolve of the bears becomes, and the more interest and liquidity being placed in trades looking for upside price action comes in. And we're getting some bullish divergences here. See, we have stochastics and momentum. We've kind of come up to fill this area right here. And we're in the zone right here that we've already tapped the sort of highs. If we look at the wicks here, the wick on this is basically negligibly small distance apart from where this high is to where this current low has been. So as this is playing out, if we get a washout or not, I am looking for this to have some price action that comes up and at least test this high right here, this 28.9 to 29. Is this really? Yeah. So 29,000 to 29.7, this region right in here. And if we're able to move up to this and find any resistance and then break through it, then I think there's a very high chance that we are going to break this high here at 30,500, 31,000, this region. We still need to watch this area because there could be bull traps in play. Now, bull trap meaning price moves up to get people excited about going long, only to push it up a little further and then wash it out to the downside, causing cascading liquidations and then loss of confidence for the bulls, only to come down. Maybe we get that and then come down here. But I do think that there's a bit of an uncertainty in the market right now because of the debt ceiling crisis, and the crisis is lack of planning and lack of good service from our Congress, right? They need to do what they need to do they need to actually do their job. I'll just say that. I'm not going to get political. Now, when we're looking at the certain, questions about what's happening in the market, and remember, markets are forward looking. So when we come over here to, let's go ahead and bring on all of our other data points. We can see we're at this zone here. We're getting a little bit of uncertainty here. We're kind of consolidating here. Some people are calling for a head and shoulders, but what I can also see here, if I sort of let's go ahead and make this a smaller line so we can barely see it. And what I do see also forming here, and this is the context of a sort of confusion in the market. Let's go to 1. Is we can also see that there is a little bit of a falling wedge, falling channel that is starting to form here. In which case, this kind of breaks out to my point that I was talking about earlier of touching that lower gap from the submersus on this larger time frame. We could see, where'd that gap go? Right down here. But I really don't think we're going to go down as low as this. That'd be a pretty hefty washout. But we could see this sort of up to the downside, to the upside. We've already tapped to the downside again. We could still come up to this level, 28,200, and reject and come down further and just be making a larger falling wedge. And that's okay. If we have an idea of the potential variety of roadmaps, it's kind of like you ever pull up Google Maps or Apple Maps or whatever you're using to traverse, maybe Star Maps. There's multiple routes to get to the end destination. And that's okay. You don't have to be absolutely right every time, but you do need to be aware of the possibilities of where price could, may, should, want to, should not want. It doesn't matter what all your feelings are about the market. And we pull this out right here. Where's Crypto Burb? Right here. Doesn't care about my often wrong opinions. This is everybody, as you can see right here. Doesn't matter if you have often wrong opinions. Doesn't matter if you're following another analyst that has wrong opinions. This is why I definitely recommend following multiple analysts, as also doing multiple versions of a chart, looking bullish options and bearish options, because since many traders see the same patterns, I'd not rush to rule out 22K, and I didn't actually see this part of his tweet here, but I'm just looking at the data. I'm very bullish about where price can go, but there is data that suggests there is a likelihood of price going down to tap that below $24,000 level, 22 to 24. Ultimately, listen to what the market is saying about others, not what others are saying about the market. This is the point of looking at all the data and looking at not only TA, but the on-chain metrics and all the things present so we can make smart decisions in the market. We got 138 people in here. If this is your first time, let us know it's your first time. I guarantee this is not going to be your last time if you are here. I do want to take a moment. I forgot to welcome all of you. I'm so excited about talking about what's going on in the market. Just want to shout out to some of all the OGs that have, all the OGs that have been in here from the start. I've been doing this stream for about 3.5 months now, and we are pushing, let's see what the numbers are today. Got the hiccups this morning. We got 6,960-ish followers. If you're not following us yet, if you're watching over at Hit Network or watching any of the other spots that clip the show, which I know there's a number, make sure you come and follow us at youtube.com/@bitlabacademy.com. Come check us out. You can also come over here to the video section, actually playlist section, I believe. Come to view full playlist, this daily alpha. And we've got all these videos that we've done, all these streams are meant to also be watched at any point in the future. We talk about a lot of strategies that can be applied at any time so you can really understand what's going on. I really highly recommend watching the Pro Trading View guide. Also this Bitcoin, Bitcoin doing well while banks are falling. Also, this has a lot of macro view sort of skills. This one's like an interview with Jordan Lindsay as well. But come check us out. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, ding that bell. Now, what I want to do now is we kind of broke down in the beginning of the show. We're going to come back to a lot of TA on Bitcoin and Ethereum and a number of altcoins as well. But we want to step back from the charts now that we have this wide view. And first off, I keep getting sidetracked this morning. I need another cup of coffee. First off, again, I want to welcome all my OGs here in chat. All the newcomers, if you are new, let us know where you're tuned in from. Let us know if you're bullish bias, if you're bearish bias, if you have some astronomical thing, unique thing that you think none of us are seeing in terms of what you're seeing in the charts. I don't particularly want new coin shills and all that kind of stuff. For anybody that does super chat, I just want to let you know we do have my mods let me know. They ding me in my ear in case I miss, because I'm a one-man operation in terms of the live stream. I don't have a team triggering scenes and reading chat and all this. So I have the mods help me there. We have a Discord. They signal me when there's a super chat so I can make sure to answer. Also, if there's any meaningful questions, I try to get them to send those to me as too. But so shout out to Alexander G, shout out Crimson Caravan Company, Sawtooth Hiker, unforgettable name, Raul Confetti, Tenacious B, a mellow fellow, always mellow, always a fellow, Donato Cabrera, Creighton C, GS, Zeus Cash, John Connor. John Connor, is that because we are living in Skynet right now? B Team Crypto. I'm George 2, or is that I'm Jorge 2? Yo no sé. Now let's see who else we got. I said Creighton C, Raul Confetti, Garrett Swigart Harris. We got everybody in the house today. Big love to all the friends and family here. I think of all of you like family. We're here every morning, and I appreciate you all. Now let's jump back into this. If I missed anybody, Crypto 420. I think Blazing 2Js. I think I saw on here too. Dan T. Brad Guidell, always. Big love to everybody. Crypto Kid. Now, what I want to just go over here is a couple things that can help give us an idea of where the pressure. We're looking at, that 3-day chart is still somewhat of a almost local time frame when we're looking at where we can go. But when we were looking here again at BitLab, at Bitcoin, if we turn off all the drawings and we're just looking at this volume area that we're pushing up into, this is also, look at this level right here. Right here, you see is right in the same zone here where we tap, 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 kind of like Happy Gilmore. You just got tap, 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 tap it in. And it tapped, tap, 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 and then it tapped it in. Now that we're doing the inverse of this, we are pushing up. We made an attempt, fail. Made an attempt, a little higher, get consolidation, got that push, that flush to the upside. This is a little bit of a short squeeze liquidation into the zone. We had a little bit of unhealthiness coming into this. We know this because we have these pink candles showing this was unhealthy, out of context, did not have the backing to support this move. This was also overheated down here with a significant movement. You could see all these BitLab Market Intelligence, BitLab Relative Extreme, BitLab Hidden Volume, BitLab Significant Movement. All of these aggregate a number of other indicators, data points, and unique algorithmic sort of aggregations of data to give you a very focused and all of these have confluence within them between multiple indicators. And then we get confluence with these indicators themselves. We have overheated zone. This is moving up. This is front running this move reversal. Then we get the pink showing this reversal maybe happening. Then we get the bearish divergence signal. Boom. If we did not take it here, we could have been more patient because we were too bullish, broke down, comes up here. Then we get the bearish divergence on volume. Maybe that's what you're waiting for. And then we're getting this move to the downside. But We're getting a little bit lower low, and now what I'd be waiting on here is getting a little bit of a blue flash here, but we can come down here to the 2-day. Let's go to the 2-day, and we can see, look at that. 2 days front running it a little bit, of course, because 2 days is fewer days. So the indicators move quicker. This is coming down. This is trying to reverse. We get these green signals, reverses back down, trying to reverse. But now we look at this, trying to reverse back here. This is over. This moves from neutral to overheated very quickly. Excuse me. Now, oh man, I got to sneeze again. Now you can see this is trying to reverse again, but now we have blue context, relative extrema giving us the green bars, and we get the bullish divergence. So this is different look with the data and the indicators than this previous attempt here. And now we're deeper in the EMA ribbon. We're getting money flow divergence. So let's go ahead down one more day, and we can see not only do we get these, let's just start here. We're getting these basically hammer candle here, followed by, you know, somewhat of a doji, somewhat of a, and then we get a spinning top showing a roundingness here. We get 3 bullish divergences. We have the blue wave here showing a confluence of multiple momentum indicators showing that this is undervalued. Signals are reset. There could be a floor, a local floor setting up at the zone. We're starting to get this reversal. Now look at this. We're starting to push up, and this is healthy because this is white. This is not out of context. So we are starting to see this. So now that we've sort of gotten a full picture as to what this is looking at, let's go ahead and look at some. We're going to kind of fly through these. We're going to look at some of the on-chain data as to what's going on here. So what I want to point out here, I don't want to look at that one, is first here looking at the reserve risk. Now, again, we have a full on-chain data course. And remember, when you are a BitLab Academy member, you can come over here to BitLab Academy, go to view all. You get all these different courses. You can start with the free crypto beginners course, and you can also take these. All you need to do is register. It's free to register, and you get access to these courses. In the crypto beginners courses, there's quite a, I don't even remember, 15 or 20 lessons in there that are pulled out of all this. You're kind of getting introduction to a lot of stuff, and you know, some key points on-chain, but there's also a full on-chain data course, on-chain analysis. So, and this is going to be growing as well. This has 20 different breakdowns in there, identifying tops, identifying bottoms, also identifying the health of moves. And there's specific courses, specific lessons in here that really breaks down a lot of the on-chain, so you can understand what's going on. Reserve risk is one of those lessons in that course, and I love this because we can scroll down right here. Reserve risk is defined as the price divided by the HODL bank. What is a HODL bank? It's coins that are identified being held. They've been held longer than 155 days, as well as being held in wallets. If something was just bought, being held in wallets that less than 75% of those coins move once they're bought. So meaning they've been held. And so price divided by the HODL bank, meaning if the HODL bank is, if price is moved out of context from what the HODL bank is, or the HODL bank it shows reduction in being held, aka moving out of position. HODL bank people that have a HODL bank, people that trade looking to the future, are accumulating at these zones or lower in previous cycles. And when we get a very strong price action, very strong bullish move, they are smart. This is where they start taking profits into the strength of this market, meaning that HODL bank is going down while the price action is moving up. And so you get these overheated zones. This is a different way to look at something like the RHODL, the RHODL, which is a difference between the coins moved, held within the last week versus coins that have been moved within the last 1 to 2 years. This is a different kind of look at that with a wider data set. And we can see when this gets overheated, this is also price action is likely topping out. And when we get down to these low zones, aka what level of risk are we in the market? Is this asymmetric? This is one of the things that you try to look for. You try to find investments and trades that are as asymmetric, bullishly asymmetric as possible, meaning that there's more potential to the upside than there is risk to the downside. Now, we always practice, we always want to practice healthy capital management, but when we are in these low zones, meaning the HODL bank is strong and the price is low relative to the HODL bank, we can see, and we are very low still right now. There's an asymmetric risk with upside price action to where price action can go down from here. So what that means is when we're looking at price, when we're looking at Bitcoin, we got 132 people, 100 likes. We got the good likes today. I appreciate all of you. Now, if you haven't yet, come over to BitLab Academy, retweet this tweet. Come follow us right here. It's pinned tweet in the top. I'm going to close the poll right now so we can see that pinned tweet. Should be up there. I pinned the wrong tweet apparently. Let's see. Remove. Now, we want to go and follow, retweet to win this tweet. Retweet to. There we go. Place pin tweet. There we go. Retweet this, follow us, retweet, hit that like button. Just want to shout out to all the people that are in here right now. You get entered to win. We draw on Fridays. If we don't have a show on Friday, then we do the draw on Monday. And also, of course, you've got, you can see Give Me 30 is 30% off your first month at BitLab Academy. This code will be expiring, I believe, end of week. I'm not telling that to other people, but you all are in the family. So I'm just letting people have to kind of guess when it is expiring. But looking back here at the chart, we're trying to figure out, oh man, what if this goes lower? Well, looking at, this is how we help ourselves remove emotion from our trading and our fears and our hopes. Look at the reserve risk. We can see, even if price drops in half by here, the relative upside from here, based on where we're at in the market. And I don't think it's gonna, I really don't think it's gonna drop from half by here. But I'm okay with it because I am a long-term buyer. I mean, in this zone here, we've talked about it before. This was a very, 170% rise with like a 60% fall. But this still, look at the context of this small move versus this move to the upside. If I even were to buy at the top peak here, I wouldn't be capitulating on this small move right here. I'd be buying when it goes lower. So, and I'm not telling anybody to buy or sell or anything. I'm talking about the strategy, looking at price action in this chart. From lows to highs. And when we're in these low zones, the relative movement here versus the explosive movement, leading into the halving, and especially halving being around March of next year, this is when you're looking for entries, not looking for exits. So wherever we're at right here, even if we're to drop back lower, I am a net buyer. I am identifying stronger moves. Am I doing some scalp trading on smaller time frames? Yes, but with a very small amount of my portfolio. I'm talking less than 5%. And that's really more for just like small spending money thing. It's more like, it's not for building my portfolio. Because if I'm going to take money out of crypto, I'm going to trade to make that money to take out while I leave my HODL bank intact, especially where we're at in this market pre-huge bull run that I do think is coming. I think it's going to shock people. I think there's going to be some fireworks in the next 18 months. And so I want to be best positioned for that. So we can see relative risk where we're at in this zone versus being anywhere near overheated. This is an asymmetric risk opportunity for upside with limited downside in terms of the ratio of what the upside will be versus what the downside could be from here. Now, looking in the next chart, we can see this one right here. This is the first time I actually saw this chart today when I was kind of doing my own morning research. We can see this metric relative activity of small and large entities, meaning institutional or huge entities with multiple wallets or large amounts of capital in the space versus us little shrimps and us plankton, right? This metric takes into account the observable positive skew of the U.S. denominated Bitcoin transaction volumes, or blah blah blah. It's a lot of words, right? So small entities exceeding large entities, it is typically suggested an influx of small size transactions and is often associated with the excitement of a bull markets and greater speculation. When small exceeds large. Now so we have the blue and the red. So we can see this right here. This blue crosses above the red, and this front ran this move here. Blue crosses above the red. We had the washout here, global economic shutdown, but kind of chopping here. But then boom, we had the separation and then strong move to the upside. Now once it crossed, once it crossed here, we had a lot of movement here that still went to the upside. But what I want to notice here is that let's go ahead and zoom in on this. We can make this big view in Workbench. Let's go ahead and look at all of this chart. Well, let's look at all of it. We want to look at everything on the chart before we start, right? We want to pay attention to what the key is across the top. Okay, blue is small entries, large entries is red. What I want you to notice is we're just now getting to a point, if I zoom in on this, we just crossed below this. We just crossed below this with a little bit of indecision here. There's some choppiness in the market. We're right at this level when we're looking at the price action. We see right here. So there's a little bit of, I don't want to call it uncertainty, but there's a little bit of movement from large entities outperforming small entities, right? If we kind of come back to this, come on, you can do it. There. Yeah. And then the next one here is a new address momentum. We can see right here that the new address, when red is above the blue, indicates an expansion and chain activity, typical of improving network fundamentals and growing network utilization. Now, there's a little bit of a concern here, but we also have this right here. Boom. We have this testing. We have this testing before we truly get that explosive move. Now, if we think about the bull and bear trends and also where the halving is in Bitcoin, then we do know that this was pre-halving right here. This is the 2019 bull run from about 3,500, 3,800 up to 13,800, and then breakdown, global economic shutdown. The halving was around in this zone right here. The halving was, yeah, around this zone right here. And then we had post-halving, huge rocket to the upside. Now, where this stands right here, you know, this pre-halving pump, breakdown into halving, and we have this testing, and we're getting that right here. So this isn't the end of the world, but this is signaling things that we've seen in the past. Now, moving on to the next chart, we can see that, what did I want to show? I thought this was, all right. There's another chart here, and I don't know where it went. Too many, I was looking at so many charts this morning. Okay, so yeah, we can see here cycle change detection and drilling via drilling methods, and we can see that once we're getting down to the cycle low, we're getting all these red flashes. Boom, 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 boom. We get in the cycle low, red flashes. Boom, boom, boom. We've had a number of these red flashes here. Price action is being supported by that lower band of this almost looks like the Mayer multiple. I haven't looked at this chart in a while. Yeah, it is a Mayer multiple. Mayer multiple being the 200-day moving average and a multiple of that SMA. And we can see that we have fallen below this. This is kind of similar to looking at the long-term holder realized price. This tracks somewhat similarly. When price gets below this, likely trend cycle bottoms are starting to form. We kind of tap right below that here. Man, I got the sneezes today. And then we come down here, ride the zone, drop below this, and we're getting these cycle lows, or basically these red flashes indicating, you know, a lot of the bearish exhaustion almost is coming in, and we're looking for that transition to the bull market, which we're getting as we're starting to form this upward trend. Now, what I want you to notice here is, I know what I was going to look at on this one. Let me see if I can find that real quick. There was something about the this is the one I wanted to see right here. Actually, I didn't scroll down far enough. My question for you though right now is, have you hit that like button? Let's get involved. 161 people, 110 likes in the we're just if you could also just quadruple tap those heart buttons or party buttons on the emojis. I love seeing those fly by. It always makes me smile. But what I want you to notice here is This is a Bitcoin supply stress ratio indicator. And I really like this because this has to do with one of the most, a very important thing in any market. And that's talking about supply and demand dynamics as to what an asset's supply is. And when there's a limited amount of supply, or especially if there's a limited amount of liquid supply, meaning readily available supply to be traded, AKA with Bitcoin, not supply held in private storage, but supply that's being held on exchange, meaning it's, readily available to be traded. And this is why we also look at the exchange net position change, showing if people are moving coins onto exchange from private storage, that doesn't mean it's going to be sold, but if people are moving out of cold storage onto exchange, it means that they're more likely than not, you could infer that they may be setting up to takes a change in positions, whether they're trading assets in and out of from Bitcoin to Ethereum or Ethereum to another altcoin, or selling from that asset to a stable coin. So moving net position change onto exchange off of exchange is important. But what we're seeing here in this sort of chart, we're looking specifically at the supply stress indicator. And what we want to see is we get this red zone right about here where we're getting these market cycle lows. And we see this, and we see this market cycle low. We see this market cycle low. We see this market cycle low. And then we flip as this is falling into, where it's falling into the blue as this base is being formed for a true uptrend. This is now falling into the blue. We're getting this purple signal. And these have happened somewhat in different parts of where price action was. As you can see, following this pre-halving pump right here, following this. Now this one is a little bit before it. And we may have had this little peak that we have a small correction on and then continue the upside. But what we're seeing is this supply stress sort of peaked and is coming down, which is another sort of indication here. Now, where's that other chart I had? Dang it. We'll look at it in a second. But we've talked about diminishing returns with upside price action, but we could also talk about profitability and loss. Okay. Now we're seeing here UTXOs in profit. These are basically coins held in profit, coins that are unspent transaction outputs, meaning they're coins that are being held somewhere that are not, they're just think of them, it's different, but think of it on a loose basis as coins that are not being transacted. We're seeing an increase here, or a reduction in the amount of coins that are not in profit. There are on drawdowns. We see this drawdown, huge drawdown in profit, percentage profit. Now, huge drawdown, but this percentage here is getting higher each time. You see this? There's a clear trend line right here. And we still have a lot of room to go before this gets up into this overheated zone. We see this right here. We start getting a lot of coins on network being in profit. See this right here? And this is already overheated. We're nowhere even near that. So I do think there is something forming as to where the price could go. Let's kind of go over here to charts. No, it's workbench. It's not workbench. Charts. Forget what I was looking at earlier. It doesn't matter. It's always so many charts to look at. Now, other thing I want to look at right here is Ethereum. We've been talking so much about Bitcoin. We could see that since the merge, which was not that far ago, September 15th, 2020, had 230,000 Ethereum have been burned. So this also talks about what we were just discussing with Bitcoin. We're talking about supply and demand, right? Even without increasing demand, if you reduce supply, liquid supply, then you're changing the nature of the supply-demand dynamics. So you could do one of three things. You can reduce supply and have the demand have more of an impact, which will be a self-fulfilling sort of cycle where if there's a drastic reduction of supply, that means all the demand that's currently there will have an exponential value relative to what the reduction of supply is. You can also have the same supply and an exponential increase in demand from some sort of major news event or a merger or an upgrade or something like that. And from, you know, a lot of adoption coming in, you get a lot more demand, regardless of if the supply is regardless of if the supply drops. You can also have a reduction in supply and some sort of big adoption news or merger or whatever else creates demand further. I almost said exponentialize, and I'm not going to make up words today, everybody. Yeah, I definitely need another cup of coffee. You can also reduce supply while also having an events like crypto being in the news media every day. It's on talks on Capitol Hill every day. It has become part of the global zeitgeist, especially in the US. You know, our country's zeitgeist, and everybody discussing it, and regulation. And I mean, it's on all the tickers on, you know, major financial news broadcasts like CNBC, and Jim Cramer talks about it all the time, even though he might be wrong 99% of the time. It's still, people are hearing it on a regular basis. So we're having adoption and awareness go up over time, which is going to increase demand as supply is coming off of exchange for Bitcoin. You know, demand is going up. There's the smallest amount of liquid supply. I think I shared this tweet the other day. Let me go ahead and zoom back here. This right here. I shared this on stream the other day, but I just want to remind everybody of this. Supply held on exchange has fallen to 5.84% of supply of Bitcoin. The lowest point in the past 5 years. And lowest point in the past 5.5 years. Custody is the way. This means people not holding coins on their exchange accounts anymore. They're holding them in private wallets, in private storage, cold storage, hot wallets, not on accessible, immediately readily available to trade. This is showing a reduction in available supply. Now, the circulating supply, yes, that is still somewhat increasing over time. This is what the halving is about. The halving is coming in here March of next year. But in terms of right now, today, there's a reduction of available liquid available supply to trade. And we also see this, as we just saw with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, reduction in supply just by nature of burning. By also, you know, we see this minus of annual inflation rate is going in deflation as it stands right now. While there's, you know, all this news and speculation and growing awareness of the halving of Bitcoin, which drives at minimum, I won't say it absolutely drives the entire market cycle. There's some argument about global liquidity and, you know, the Chinese yuan 10 years, the sort of yield and liquidity from China, as well as U.S. sort of inflation and liquidity and monetary policy cycles. In reality, all these things probably work together and correlate together. So we have to be aware of that. But there's also an argument that there's a direct relationship of price cycles on Bitcoin, which we have talked about ad nauseum on this channel, of the Bitcoin cycle. I'm just going to pull this up to remind once more. Turn this off. We can see auto. Let's go to the 3-day. Let's go ahead and turn off the submersives. We could, this is the wrong chart to look at. We could see, this is what we're talking about. Pre-halving pump, pullback, launch. Pre-halving pump, a little bit of a pullback. This had a couple push, pull, up. This had push, pull, push, global economic shutdown, launch. This right here, the halving will be around right here, option V. I can't show it because I muted all the lines. Now you can see, I guess I already have the line on there. That's sneeze. Excuse me. We can see, I have these 3 lines here. When this is zoomed out, there looks like there's so much going on. But we can see as we have this push down, this move up to the golden pocket from this high to this low. Do an Alt F or Option F if you're on Mac. Boom to boom, high to low, and you'll get this golden pocket right here, 0.618, price action move right up to it, rejected down. We look right in here, we zoom in here, we could see breakdown, push this one, push all the way up to golden pocket. You see golden pocket right here, these 2 lines, rejection up. Are we going to get that this cycle, or is it going to be something different? Who knows? but we can plan for it. We can see from this high right here, let's go ahead and delete. Let's go ahead and delete that. Option F, come from the top to the low. We've already pointed this out a number of times. And we're going to double click on the chart, minimize those other indicators. And we could see top to low, golden pocket is right here. If we turn on the submersus, I believe there's a high volume. Yeah, look at this. Point of control on this chart right here is right here at this high, directly below where the golden pocket is on this entire move. So are we going to get that play out to where we do get some sort of, you know, maybe a little bit more of a washout to the downside and then just strength that just shocks everybody? We get a hype cycle. Some people are, none of you, okay, I'm telling you, none of you, I really hope, are going to try and buy. If you haven't bought down here or right here, there's an argument you could be, depending on your strategy, you could also be buying all the time with just a general DCA strategy. But do not, if this gets very explosive action, I really highly recommend not buying if we get the price action until waiting till, oh yeah, we're going up from here, we're back to 50,000. Because this, we've seen in 2 previous cycles and regularly on this sort of action, when you get a sort of relief up to this zone, and it doesn't feel like relief on these major cycles. This just feels like an uptrend if we're going to this, and we get up to $49,000. There's going to be people buying at this level that have their feelings destroyed when they finally had belief in Bitcoin again, you know, because it got up to 50,000, and this breaks back down into this line right here, which is a halving. Only to then, you know, whether it comes all the way down here to 18,000, whether it comes down here to 25,000, or whether it comes down into this region, I think it would probably come down in the 25 to 30,000 region, up here to 50, having around about halving down. I don't mean the halving, Bitcoin halving. I mean losing about 50 to 60% into the $25,000 region, giving another opportunity to take advantage before price action, you know, moonshots into post halving. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what I drew months ago. It's this right here. I drew this before we even got anywhere near this level, is having this sort of washout all the way up to this pre-halving pump, sell off. And, you know, how do I get these sort of targets down here? Well, let's look at that, because we need to be aware of how, why, what, when, where, all these things when we're looking at these markets. 159 people in here, 124 likes. I love the ratio today. Let's get 100% likes for all the people in here, and hit all those emojis. Just keep that flashing. It really helps the engagement on the channel. Shows us to other people. Helps keep crypto engagement on YouTube. Lets them know that they should be showing crypto to more people and broadening the horizons. Now, when we look at this, if this were to go all the way up to here, then we could take, now if we took the high to the low to get this golden pocket zone here, that we also see as a point of control, this pink line. We also know from the red heat map on the mesopic vision, the highest point, think of it like a VPVR with more functionality. We can see that this is a point of control. I don't think that because of this, I don't think we will maybe get all the way up to the golden pocket if this does play out. I see price action getting trapped somewhere between 41,000 and 47,000. Man, I got the hiccups today. I don't know why. In the zone, basically 42,000 so I'm guessing like 43 to 46,000 in this region. If we do have this scenario play out. If that were to happen, then we take the option F or alt F, or click over here on the sign, find your fib retracement. You can do it for the upside and the downside. Click on the bottom here, move up. You can see the low side of this action. Actually, let me delete this. We're gonna kind of delete this here so we have some clarity. Let's go to, let's go to this chart, just because there's not as much going on. If we go from, can I hide everything? If I go from this low, option F, from the low to 42,000, we can see that the golden pocket is, look at this, right exactly on the same sort of box that we're looking at a potential pullback even now to, which is this zone right here. If I zoom in on this, we can see this golden pocket is basically 24.9 to 25.7. That's if we only go up. That's if price action. I'm talking, you'll see what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about specifically if we were to make it up to this zone with the $45,000 to $50,000 zone and get rejected, where would this rejection come back down to? Okay. And we can see that if this were to play out on the low side, the golden pocket is right here at this $25,000 sort of ceiling that we broke through. Now, if this were to continue up to that $47,000 region, we could see that this is the 27 to 27.8 level. So this is exactly what I was just speaking about a moment ago. That $25,000 to $30,000 zone is based on where the golden pocket would be, is if we were to go from that $42,000 region up to the $46,000, $48,000 region. We have this sort of zone marked out if this were to do that. That is how I arrived at drawing this projection as to where we were going. This high was projected on the, just like the previous two cycles, if we were to get up at some point, which we will at some point, whether it's pre-halving or post-halving. Please note that when you think about my projections into the future, this is all speculative based on time and performance of past cycles. We may well go sideways with chops of 20 or 30% for the rest of this year. Very well could happen. We could fall from here, get a Wyckoff sort of wash out to the downside, scares everybody. The smartest of us and the most patient of us and the most able to look into the future of us that are able to buy a scary dip if it were to happen and not exhaust all of our capital, because the market can remain volatile longer than most people can remain solvent. So we need to pay attention to that. Now it is 11:13. We've got 149 people in here, and I love each and every one of you. I want you right now to everybody just stretch for a second. Just giving myself an opportunity to stretch my back. And I really do want to say how much I appreciate each and every one of you and how excited I am that we have fully basically got the new BitLab Academy launched and out. And again, you can use Give Me 30 at checkout for courses and indicators. If it doesn't work for the indicators, you can use Stack 30 for 30% off. Now, this is all the stuff you're getting there. I want to just really emphasize for people to get involved. When you do get involved with the Discord as well. Special shout out to all the mods that have been helping with all this. Now, I think it's time. I think it's time that we pay attention to something. I'm going to lean bullish here. And this is one of the reasons why I was talking about this bullish case for the summer. You know, we're seeing this. This is from Caleb Franzen, our boy. See the stochastics here. And the stochastics is part of one of the data sets that makes up the significant movement among several other momentum indicators. And we can see when this crosses over on the 1 day. Okay, yeah, this is 1 day. We can see this right here. Always look at what time frame, what assets you're looking at to make sure you're pulling out the right insights of the data that you're looking at. We can see as this crosses to the upside, boom, separation back into the bound, upside price action. We're below this bound down here, back into the bound, strong price action. Now we're down deep into this bound again. We're not cross bullish. We have crossed bullish, but we've also now crossed into this the zone back above this 20 line. And this is also looks like it's trying to expand. Are we going to get that? Are we not? Well, we've got to look at that. Currently on this structure right here, this is a small time frame downtrend because we have lower highs, lower lows. Is this a bear trap that's going to reverse to the upside? So we want to pay attention to that. We've covered a lot of Bitcoin today. Now I think it's time to look here at the indicators. We're going to come down to the 4 hour. We're going to look at the local stuff, and we're going to then dive into Ethereum and a number of other coins. Now, okay, look at this. So even looking at it on this time frame, it looks even more like a falling wedge because this got rejection. We had a little bit of bouncing here. This wasn't in the wedge yet. So this obviously is hindsight that we're seeing this, but boom, top, bottom, top, middle, top, bottom, right? And this is lower highs and lower lows, but it's tightening. Tightening, meaning it's pointing down, falling wedge. We have a whole lesson on this in wedges and shapes and patterns in the candle patterns course in BitLab Academy. We break all this down. And when you have these chart formations with price action, whether it's a parallel channel, falling parallel channel, meaning it's trending to the downside, those tend to break out. They resolve at some point to the upside. And these falling wedges also tend to break out to the upside, much like the macro. Look at this. Now come here to the 3-day. Where's it at? Falling wedge. See? Down, up, out. Coming back to the chart we're at. Looking at the 4-hour. Here we go. Falling wedge. Down, up, down. Is this ready? Even if we come up here, we can still get rejected. Look at this. This high is right about where, if this were to continue up, right at that $28,200 level. This is what I was mentioning before. We gotta break this level with a lot of conviction, because this looks almost like option F. This looks almost as if, so look at this. We got to break this level right here, which is not only this high, it's a golden pocket from this whole move. This is going to be a critical juncture, this 28,200 level. As it stands right now, we're on the 4-hour. We have to be aware, as bullish as crypto may be in the summer, if it does play out that way. As it stands right now, we had a small downtrend that looks like it's somewhat, this is accelerated as it stands right now. This needs to resolve itself up to either some consolidation sideways into this zone, which is okay too, which is a little more patient, because this would go all the way out to here. This would be May 29th for this, if this went straight sideways, all the way out to here, okay? So as it stands on the 4-hour though, this is starting to look a little bearish. Look at this, we have bearish divergence, we have bullish, bearish relative extrema, which we can also tell by all these pink candles right here. And we have now the overheated momentum consolidation right here, the aggregate of all these momentum indicators showing that maybe this is a little contentious. Now the markets are looking, are starting to act a little bit erratic right now. So we need to be aware of what happens with the debt ceiling announcements. And if they're able to either extend that deadline or come up with the solution to raise the limit. And I'm not saying that I feel one way or another about it, but that's going to impact what the markets do. It's going to impact this fear of the U.S. defaulting and what price action can do in this regard. So we just need to be aware of that. This is looking somewhat bearish at this point. If we come down to the 1-hour, we can see that. Okay, bearish divergence, but this is. Look at all this choppiness with the divergences on the volume. So much indecision. Yeah, so I would be cautious and patient right now with Bitcoin. I mean, if this were to fall, option F, we could see if this were to fall, I'd be watching. Look at this golden pocket is right where all these lows are. So if this were to fall, if this were to dip from here, because we had a very quick move up. So I do see a possibility price to dip from here. Look at this high volume node is right here, just above where the golden pocket is here. So if this were to lose this level, we're going to be coming down to this. We're going to be coming down to this 25, not really 20, 26.5, 26.2, sorry, 26.2, which is this lower bound, and we'd be forming a new low as well. So we got to watch for that. But as it stands right now, this is just looking like a little bit of indecision. However, with a bit of from this trend right here, a bit of a breakout. So I will say two options. This pulls back and bounces at this 382 and this line right here, then there could be a case that there's a little bit of a very small time frame confirmation, because this is a 1-hour chart, that there's a potential that we could be setting up for this upside. But again, this is indecision until we find out, I believe, with what's going on with this debt ceiling, because it's weighing heavily on the markets. In fact, what we have not done yet today, and my deepest apologies, I'm gonna go ahead and save this. Let's just take a peek for a second. Let's just take a gander. Trad markets. Alrighty, so yeah, this is just looking, it looks like indecision all over. Breakdown, but this is starting to round. This is just looking ugly. But this is sort of trending at a bizarre sort of almost like a cup and handle, but not, because this handle's so darn big. But this is just looking like indecision to me. coming over to, let's go ahead and look at some of the other things that we wanted to look at before we go for sure. We got to look at our buddy ETH. Let's go ahead and look at Ethereum. Who out there, throw ETH in chat if you are an ETH holder. Throw ETH wannabe in chat if you're just waiting, you want to have ETH, but you're waiting for the right opportunity. Okay, let's look at ETH. Throw ADA in chat if you're an ADA holder. Throw XRP in chat if you're an XRP holder. Throw Team Crypto if you hold a broad array of assets and you're not particularly tribal about any of them. There's too many tribal people. I hold XRP, so I hate ADA. I hold ADA, so I hate XRP. No, all that's nonsense to me. Trade assets because you want, you see some sort of time horizon that you're going to make money on them. Others you're going to hold for conviction because you believe in their principles. Others you're going to hold for specifically because you're trading on the short time frame for making money in that asset, which there are assets that I hold to do that. I'm not going to tell specifically which ones those are because I don't want to pump bags on coins that I hold. I want to be equal opportunity for everybody. Now, Ethereum, let's go ahead and dive into this. Ethereum, we are on the 4-hour chart. Look at this area right here, blocked out. What is this? This is part of the mesopic vision. Blocked out right here, meaning that when we come back up, this looks like it's probably just shy of where the golden pocket is on this move to the upside, but we have two blocks here. This zone right here, 1887 up to 1925. If we push up to this zone, this looks like it's probably right about where the golden pocket is on this move. Pull down. Look at this golden pocket right in the middle of these zones. So I would be watching for ETH. If we were to come up to this zone, very high interest zone to, if we are taking just a smaller time frame trades, take some profit or move your stop loss up quite tight, because this could be a reversal zone to continue lower, because we do have liquidity issues here or order block gaps in this zone, as well as a golden pocket from this move. Now, I will say that, we had the blue wave form right here with the bullish divergence. Do we have green candles coming into it? No green candles coming into it. This is a 4-hour. Let's look at the 2-hour. Look at this. So green candles kind of trickling in on the way up to it. Bullish divergence, blue flag, relative extrema. I bet that there was a divergence on market intelligence as well. Let's see. Yeah, look at this. Bullish momentum divergence, relative extrema flashing 1, 2, 3 green signals. Blue wave here showing that the significant movement, momentum aggregates of all the various different data sets showing that this is getting very undervalued and this wave is rising. Bullish divergence on hidden volume, relative extrema, bullish divergence on market intelligence. This was a clear buy signal right here from the 1, 2, 3, 4 signals on this setup right here. Now coming to the upside, this does look like, if I look at it just at this quick glance, this does look like we do have a bit of a rising wedge here, as we see right here. Low, high, low, high. So on this as it is, this is looking a bit weak for Ethereum on the 2-hour, coming into this rising wedge, bearish divergence, overheated. I would, if I had to be a betting man, I would guess that this is likely have some sort of attempt to the downside. Even if it had a bullish attempt resolution, I think that this would have this is going to have some sort of pullback, testing at least the 1793, if not coming back down into the 1755 to 1740 region because of this this pattern right here. Now, running through our charts, turbo TA time. We have the same setup right here, Cardano. Look at this rising wedge. How do I know that? I have chart vision. We could see right there, rising wedge, ascending level of resistance, ascending level of support. Low, high, low, high, low. Now this does have this large trend right here. This is a very small rising wedge in the midst of a larger falling wedge. So does this mean that we're breaking down from here? No, this may mean that this is this trend line may just be a little bit wrong. And this intermediary small time frame rising wedge within the context of a larger time frame falling wedge, maybe we have another attempt down to this low before we reset to the upside, in which case I'm a buyer on Cardano if we do break down from here, or if we break up from here, retest this, have some conviction with the momentum moving back to the upside, then I would be a buyer here as well. You see why there's good opportunity to buy lower And even if we break up to the upside, get that confirmation to buy at this new conservative low before we break out higher. That's what I'm seeing on Cardano. Let's see. We got AVAX. We're on the 1 hour there. 4 hour here. We can see. Okay. We could see 1, 2, option T. We could see this sort of trend line right here. Boom, boom, boom. This is looking like it's trying to roll over here. Red relative or pink relative extrema showing this is unhealthy coming into the zone, which starts to make sense as we see a bit of a trend line formed here. And this is looking like it's trying to fight. If we're able to break above this, maybe get a little bounce, that could be a play. This is actually looking a little bit stronger than the other charts that we were looking at. Option T, we could see we got another trend line right here. Looking like it's trying to form a bit of a ugly, very ugly, sloppy, symmetrical triangle right here. If this does break out, I would want to retest before I did something. I wouldn't front run this. We do have overheated zone right here, and the relative extrema was 1, 2, 3 bars of overheated with bearish divergence. So this very well could get a small rejection, which would not be a large pullback, down here to the 1502 sort of level. Maybe a little bit of a scary, very small washout wick before we resolve to the upside. But this is looking a bit stronger than those other charts that we were just looking at. Coming over here, we can look at coming back. That's not what I want to do. Hitting the wrong buttons. XRP, let's look at XRP. XRP is looking just straight flat. Straight flat, but we have down, flat, down, flat. Is this going to be another down flat here to the 39.9 cents? Very well could be. As we just look very briefly, look at this. Red, 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 red. And I will say that this does look like it is. Let's go ahead and zoom out on this. This does look like there's a bit of a increasing. Look at this, increasing while this is relatively flat with a small decrease, sharper increase here on the relative extrema. We're getting huge cloud rejection, huge cloud actually made it across. Okay. Now this is looking like we've come down to the 1 hour. Let's see. Yeah. It's trying to roll back over. It looks to me like XRP just on the relative extrema. And the fact that this is flat, it looks like it could be attempting to coil back up. We'd have bearish divergence here on XRP, but very little price action to the downside. And this is very neutral. I think the XRP just looks like it's waiting for anything to push it higher. But we have to be aware. This also looks like a bit of a parallel channel. Maybe constricting. Yeah, I would say this looks, because of the relative extrema, huge green, blue, 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 a little bit of red, back to blue. I would be looking for some bullish divergence here, or a major bullish symbol on intelligence. We had it here, but weak move. Yeah, this is still looking undecided, but I do lean towards a likely attempt coming at some point to the upside. If we do break down, I'd be looking here at 39.7. Now coming back out, let's do a couple more. GRT looking like it's making a move. Let's look at this. Not a head and shoulders, but somewhat similar structure. Low, lower low. Held this low, which is higher than this. It's not a inverse head and shoulders, but somewhat similar. And now we've broken through this sort of level. Option T. We've broken through this level. We're broken. Have we broken this high? No, we're testing this high right here. And look at this. We've got this coming through right here. And you see this, where this pause broke right through this. GRT, this is the most bullish coin I've seen yet today. Watch for a small retrace to find some sort of confirmation here. If it doesn't just explode. ICP, shout out to AJ Rice Crypto. He did a great video on BitBoy Crypto today. See this falling wedge? Boom. Broke out at resistance right here at this level right here. If we do want to come back, find some support here, the small little pullback, continue on to the upside, likely testing this sort of zone at some point in the near future. These are the lows. This is a high. So if we were to come up, small little stop at 558 and then up to 578 if we do have a confirmation to the upside. This is ICP. Keep hitting the wrong button. Do you see me? Hedera hash graph. This one kind of looks like a combination between the chart on XRP and GRT. Somewhat sideways, but also bullish, also moving bullish, but finding resistance at this level right here. Option J, we see these lows. This is right where we're finding resistance. So I would want to break through this for Hedera. As it stands right now, it does look a little overheated. This is on the 1 hour though. We overheated on the 4 hour, 1 hour, 30 minute. Okay, it's back to neutral, but we're getting a little bit of lack of conviction, and this makes sense because we are at this level. 5 bearish divergences, which could be because we're coming into a known level. If this does break through it, I'd be wanting to get a little bit of a confirmation before I made a move. If this were to break down to the downside, the level I would be watching is 5.1 cents, but then also this is the low side coming up. Golden pocket right here would be about 5.18 versus 5.11. In this zone right here, I would be a net buyer. I'm relatively biased on my longs right now, so understand what your strategy is and what you're doing in the market. Shout out to everybody. If you have not yet, go over to bitlabacademy.com and make sure you check out what we have going on here, and make sure that you come to the BitLab Academy Twitter page right here at Academy BitLab. It's pinned up top. You get entered to win. Hit that follow button, hit that retweet button, hit that like button. Let people know what's going on here at BitLab, because it shares what this one shares to Daily Show, and it gives everybody else the opportunity to get 30% off. So do that. Get involved before this coupon expires. I love each and every one of you. And all I got to say, like my daddy would say, bring me a higher low. Big love to everybody. I'll see you later. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in. Hit that like button, sucker. I appreciate each and every one of you.